Alright, everyone, hello. Welcome to the third episode of the Nationals Dynasty mode that we're doing here, trying to fix the Nationals, or at least get them off to a good start, really. Their franchise, anyway. And we're not doing that so far, as we dropped to 6-18 in the first month of the season, in the month of April, with a 10-game losing streak, really to put an exclamation point on just how bad things got. So the biggest area or hole on our team here is pitching. So we have about one decent starter here with an ERA that's in a respectable area, and the rest of our rotation here is posting ERAs, in the 6s and the 9s, in the 10s, so we need to fix something here. So in our AAA team here, we have a lot of guys who are kind of just like fringe Major League guys here. None of them have good stuff here, like John Patterson here. He does not have good stuff. He's got like a decent fastball, it's good fastball, it's 91, but that's really it. So this guy's a reliever, by all accounts. Really. Come on now. But he's off to a good start to the year. He's got an ERA under 2 hold on, bear with me here. In 36 innings pitched this year, he's got an ERA under 2. So that would immediately be a huge improvement from anything we've got going on. Also, Seth Griesinger, I think that's how you say that. Seth Griesinger also has an ERA under 2 with over 30 innings pitched here. Only 5 walks, and remember, walks have been a pretty big issue for our rotation so far. So I think both of these guys I'm going to call up and give a chance here on the big league club. I haven't seen too much as far as contracts go with like options and stuff. I'm not sure how this game handles that stuff, or if they do it all, if it's that complex. This is a game for kids after all, so maybe that stuff's a little bit too complicated, but yeah, and then in the bullpen, the only move I'm looking to make here, it looks like Dan Smith is having a pretty decent season as a long reliever, and maybe he could be a nice change of pace for Vargas. That might be a good move that we need to make here. The rest of our pen, I'm just going to kind of leave. I know we have at least one other arm in our bullpen that's really kind of struggling, but Dan Smith, John Patterson, and Seth Griesinger are going to be my quick-term solutions to the rotation in the bullpen, and maybe that will help our pitching staff a little bit. So we're going to go to the call-up and send-down list here and handle that. So all right, so the corresponding moves here for our send-ups and send-downs here, of course, we sent Zach Day, who, remember, had an ERA over 10. It reset his numbers because he's back in AAA, but he had an ERA over 10 through the first month of the season. Just can't have numbers that bad. We could probably get away with like 5 or 6, but a 10 is definitely not going to work. And then, of course, John Roush is also going to spend some time on the AAA club, because he had an ERA over 9. So, that's going to be the two moves here. And, of course, Vargas is also going to spend some time in AAA. All these guys are under 30. Like, everyone that we moved around, they're all guys under 30. So, plenty of time to work things out here. So, we're just going to go with that here and hope that kind of helps fix things for the big league club. And then batting-wise, there's nothing really I need to change here as far as offense is concerned, because offensively everyone is hitting fairly well, or at least hitting their weight. There's no one on our offense that's really like struggling to hit the ball super well. The numbers are, if they're either like league average or maybe a little bit below league average to like excelling. So that's essentially, I'm fine with how our offense is performing. So we're going to get right into the month of May now. We spent too much time on player personnel. We'll send this last game of the Mets series, I guess, just for some symmetry, I guess. And it looks like, of course, we lost it. So there's a look at our farm system as well, how they're all doing well. In my first sim of this, Portsmouth, the single A, they did really well in that as well. I don't know why, what they got going on down there, but that might be something we need to look at here. Maybe there's some rookies down there that need to be sent to Double A. But we'll give a little bit more time on that. So we get swept again in this series against the Mets that closes out April and starts off May. So already off to a bad start. The losing continues as we get blown out in this game. I'm not sure who would have made that start. I could have checked the roster beforehand, but it's okay. So we have another pretty extensive road trip to the West Coast. We have to go to LA and then head up to the Bay to play the Giants, and then we finish it off against the Diamondbacks in Arizona. So I'm going to sim through this road trip, and then we will see where we're at following that. So, all right, we will stop in here to focus on something here. So it looks like Nick Johnson has been injured here. He's got torn knee meniscus, so he'll be out for a considerable amount of the season. He was really only playing against lefties, so that's a pretty big blow there. Because now we're going to have to focus on Jimmy Carroll, I think, pretty much primarily, and I guess Will Cordero. So there's going to be kind of a hole at first. We didn't really have like a strong first baseman situation going on, but that is a considerable hole still. So yeah, that's pretty bad, pretty bad. All right, welcome back in. One of the things here, or the things I didn't focus on, so we focused on the Nick Johnson injury. I showed that. We also had 2 relievers go down. They're 2 minor injuries, so they'll be fine, but yeah, we're starting to get some injuries across the roster, and that might be why things have gone a little bit bad. I auto fix them. I just let the game auto fix it and call up whoever needs to come up and put whoever on the IL and whatnot. So we're fine there. But anyway, so we close off our road trip with a sweep of the Diamondbacks in Arizona. So I'm pretty sure the Diamondbacks were one of the teams that swept us. Or no, we took 1 of 3 from the Diamondbacks in April, but we swept them here in May on the road. But the Dodgers swept us, all low-scoring series. So looks like our pitching stepped up a little bit. But yeah, we did have a 5-game losing streak to start off the month of May. If you were a new fan by the Nationals in 2005, by this point you were probably fully off the ship, as we have completely kind of fallen apart. So a 9-8 blowout, or shootout, I guess, with the Giants. Not great to see that, but I'm glad we at least swept a series. I didn't think we would do that this season really much at all. So that puts up our number of 1 series this year to 2. We've won 2 series so far this season. So we won a series against the Braves, and now we have swept the Diamondbacks. So again, let's do our check-ins to the roster here and just see what's going on, or what needs to be fixed here. So our numbers are still just about the same here. 30th rotation here, or 30th pitching staff, 8th in offense, 21st in fielding, and 3rd on the base path. So Living Hernandez is still keeping that ERA firmly in the mid-6s. Yeah, just not good. Just really not good. Especially for the money that he's getting paid. I haven't even brought that up, dude. But look at that, man. Almost $3 million to just have an ERA over 6, dude. If there were options and solutions to fix all of this, like, I wouldn't even be putting up with this. But yeah, this is a pretty bad roster, especially as far from the pitching perspective. It's really bad. Tony Armas Jr. continues to have a really good season. His ERA is now back under 3, over 43 innings pitched. He's still walking a ton, which is really not good. I'm surprised his ERA is as low as it is with him walking as many guys as he does. So that's not good. John Patterson has also been pretty good early on. Just 11 innings. He's got an ERA in the low 3s. So that was a good call-up, I guess, for us so far. I mean, things can still go wrong. Tomooka's got the ERA under 7. Not great still. Yeah, the walks at 17 to 20 strikeouts. It's really bad, dude. I don't know why we're walking as much as we are, but it's really not good. And then Seth Griesinger still has not made a start yet for us. So, interesting. I thought over the course of that road trip he would have made a start. Maybe we've spot started some guys here or there. Maybe that's what the auto send has done for us. But either way, Dan Smith has done well here. With a 3.38 ERA. That was another good call-up here in just 8 innings. TJ Tucker was, I guess, a corresponding move for one of the injuries that we had, and he is off to a decent start for us as well. In 20 innings, he's got a 44 ERA, .44 ERA. Unbelievable. Joey Eiskin has the ERA in the low 2s after 34. But again, dude, look at that, dude. 18 walks. I don't know why we're walking. Is there something I'm missing? Is there like a coach or setting that I don't have? Like a player strategy thing I'm missing? Why are we walking so many batters? I don't understand it. Joe Horgan's ERA is ballooned up closer to 5. It's still in the mid-4s here. Not good. He hasn't had a pretty good start to May, but hopefully he can figure things out here and get back to it. Our setup guy is the one who got injured, so we don't really have like a setup guy. So we're kind of just relying, I guess, on Chad Cordero to really be, I guess, that maybe. And it has not worked out well. His ERA is getting closer to 6 now, just 9 innings. So not having a high leverage guy is kind of a problem. But a lot of these guys down here are low enough in their ERA to where I think we should be okay. To only have 5 relievers though is pretty brutal. Yeah, that's pretty bad. I'm still relying on the auto fix. I might need to change that, but I don't know. Okay, looking in at the offense really quick before we get into the next stretch of games here. Andy Chavez still hitting pretty well, hitting decently well. The OPS now is in the mid sevens, hitting 277. It's, average numbers, but they're all right. Jose Guillen, kind of the same story, a similar story. He's hitting for some power, I guess. But him and Andy Chavez are having similar years. They might not need to be so high in the order. I might get some more benefits if I go back to kind of what the game originally had here, because, Jose Vidro is still holding an average over 300. And his OPS is also over 900, so he is really woken up. Jose Vidro is here. He is alive. He's electric. Brad Wilkerson, his numbers have kind of stabilized as well. Our outfield is really putting up the same numbers. All of averages in the high, like 270s. I guess Brad Wilkerson's closer to 290, but the OPS being in like the mid to high 700s is kind of the standard, I guess, for our outfield. Christian Guzman is still hitting extremely well. He's probably going to have to move up, definitely. I'm going to move him. Into this 2 spot here, and then I'm going to put Guillen also over Wilkerson. I think this is probably going to be better for us. Guzman could probably lead off for us, but we're going to try him in that 2 spot against righties and see how well he does. That might be a good move for him. Castilla is also still hitting the ball pretty well. Maybe it's time for him to move up as well. Put him back in that cleanup spot over Guillen. I'm going to try that out, see how that does. I hate to switch up with things that are working here, but we're not winning games, so clearly something's not working, you know what I mean? Jamie Carroll is bottomed out. He is not hitting well really much at all. Will Cordero might be a better option as an everyday guy. Defense is a problem that we're having, so I don't want to sacrifice too much defense. And Cordero does not play good defense really at all. And Cordero, I think, at least plays decent enough defense. Yeah, he's got decent enough defensive stats. So missing Nick Johnson is kind of a problem right now. So, and then of course our catching spot is not very good here. Schneider is not hitting well in the catcher spot. We don't really expect him to hit that well as a catcher. So I'm fine with that for the most part. And then, Will Cordero is the everyday first baseman now against lefties. Not the worst. He hits decently well, but he probably should not be in that 2 spot for sure. Definitely probably put Guillen there, I guess, or just we got to move Cordero down slightly here. We got to inch him down more and more till we find a place where maybe he could slot in here. So maybe maybe right here above Chavez might be where what's good for Will Cordero. So we'll put him there. And so that's kind of the look at the team here for the most part. Now we'll get into the rest of May if we can. It looks like we got a little bit of ways to get to the end of May, but okay. Just checking over here, making sure there's nothing too crazy I need to be in here. Oh, Livian Hernandez seems to be upset. What's that? Currently playing for our MLB team. Has been complaining about his individual performance. We should keep an eye on this and not let it affect the rest of the team. Yeah, dude, pitch better. Just pitch better. I'm pissed about it too. Geez, that's a quick solution for you. Just throw better pitches. I don't know. What do you want me to tell you? Release you? All right, so we'll get through this quick home stint here that we have, a 3-game set against the Cubs and then a 4-game set against the Brewers, and then come back in. So, okay, we are now back in, and we have 2 series wins, folks. We beat the Cubs. We took 2 of 3 against the Cubs here, all close games. Or our wins were close. And then we took 3 of 4 against the Brew Crew, so look at us, man, stepping up. We're winning more games. We are just a game over 500 in the month of May, so that makes me excited. I'm happy about that. So we're hitting the road again for a pretty extensive road trip that I will now sim through. We're heading up to Baltimore, and then we're heading to Cincinnati, and then closing things off in St. Louis against the Cards. So we'll move through those. I don't think there's many stats I should look at here through those last 2 series here, so we'll get through the home stint. All right, man, we are back here now. We only got these 2 games against the Braves left this month here. The 500 did not hold for the month here as we lost a series here to the Orioles and then lost 2 of 3 to the Reds. This 3rd game was rained out. It gave me the notification, so we have a rain delay. I think we're making it up June 6th, probably at home against the Reds. So, a 3-game losing streak here extends to 5 as we head to St. Louis. And we won our last game. So 11-14 in the month of May. That is good for, I think, a 17-32 record is what we are. So our offense has moved up. Our offense is getting a little bit better. Defense has gotten a little bit worse. And we're still a great team on the base paths, man. So, yeah, I don't this might just be what the team is. I mean, not that I'm throwing my hands up here after 2 months, but we might have something in the minors that could help, but I don't see anyone pitching-wise who's coming up and fixing this. So even if our rotation was like, I mean, like 20th, we would be a considerably better team, but we just do not have that right now. So Le'Veon Hernandez, ERA, geez, seems firmly in the mid-sixes now. That seems to be about where he's going to be stuck. Tony Armas Jr. Just continues to have a good season. Good for him. The walks are still crazy, though. I don't know why. John Patterson has kind of fallen off a little bit here. He struggled that second stretch of games here. Tomooka, the ERA is climbing down slowly but surely, but still over 6. Not great. And then Sun Woo Kim got moved up here. Probably because of injury things. I had some guys come back from injury and whatnot. So looks like maybe one of our guys had to get sent back down maybe for an injury in AAA, and so Sungwoo Kim got bumped back up here. But he's got an ERA at 3, so can't be too mad about it. Dan Smith's ERA is ballooned over 5. Not great. TJ Tucker still having a decent season so far. Ayala has been good since his return, so we like to see that here. Joey Eiskin's ERA is getting closer to 4. Not great with that. Joe Horgan's continuing to struggle. And then, here's Seth Grisinger. Didn't even see him. He was moved to the bullpen, so Kim got moved to the rotation, and Grisinger got moved to the bullpen, which is fine because he seems to be doing well in that role. Walks are high. I don't know why the walks are high. And then Chad Cordero is struggling in that closing role still. That might be something we need to look at moving forward. And then lastly, I don't plan on moving the batting order too much here, but we'll just look over it again because we have to. Andy Chavez here is getting closer to 300. That average is. Looks like he's slugging the ball a little bit better too, so that's pretty good to see. Jose Guillen is also hitting a little bit better. His ERA is at 300. His average is at 300, and he's also slugging the ball very well himself, hitting for a little bit of power here. Jose Vidro is also tearing the cover off the ball. So yeah, it seems like the theme here, because remember we did move up. We did move up a spot here in the league as far as offense goes. It seems to be that our guys are just heating up a little bit. So if the offense is heating up, that's a good thing to see here. But Brad Wilkerson's really kind of stepped up recently. But yeah, that's a good thing to see. Gosh, Team Carroll's really struggling. We need Nick Johnson back, man. He's really struggling. We do not have a first baseman. That is difficult. But hey, man, even Schneider is stepping it up, dude. He's starting to tear the cover off the ball, man. 471 slug. Sure. We will take that. So, yeah, so it looks like the offense is starting to heat up a little bit here as we close out the month of May. But the pitching rotation is kind of stabilizing to just a regular level of bad. It doesn't seem to be getting much better. It's just kind of staying where it's at. We have decent arms who are pitching well, and then we have the guys who are just kind of ruining everything. But to know that you can't really rely on a decent start from like 2/5, it's more like 4/5 of your rotation is tough, man. Like, that's a tough way to run things. So we close out the month of May with 2 more losses to the Braves here. We have 2 more games in that series. It's a 4-game set here, but the best we can do is split it. So in the next episode, we will get back to that. We have some pretty long homestands here. In the month of June, we have this makeup game against the Reds, awkwardly put between this series here, so that's funny. We have to travel up to Cincinnati for a game, whatever. But yeah, so I guess I'll look over the standings yet again and show you guys how that all is happening. All right, here we go. So, in the NL East here, the Mets are firmly in first here. They're 10 games over 500, but the Phillies are just behind them. The Marlins are hovering around 500, and the Braves are still struggling. So I don't think our division has changed too much. The Angels have surged here, leading the charge in the West. The AL West is absolutely horrendous. Good Lord. God, there's only 4 teams, and they all suck. I don't understand what's happening there. The Indians have surged in first place in the AL Central. I believe the Twins were. They were 16-8, and they are now 30-21. Even the White Sox have woken up. The White Sox had a really bad start to the year, and they have now woken up. And the Tigers and Royals are kind of slipping. And then in the AL East here, the Red Sox have taken hold of things. They're in first place with the Yankees and Blue Jays kind of right behind them. And the Orioles and Devil Rays, it's still struggling. The Padres have taken over first place from the Dodgers here by just a half a game, so that's going to be a two-horse race here in that division as the Giants are struggling to stay at 500, and the Rockies and D-backs continue to struggle as well. And then in the Central here, the Cardinals have taken first place with the Pirates just behind them by half a game here. The Cubs are hovering around 500, and the Reds and Astros are struggling. The Astros were in last, and now they're a little bit up. And the Brewers have really kind of bottomed out. They've lost 9 straight, and we beat the Brewers in this month. So, yeah, so 17 and 34. We do have the worst record in the majors. So, yeah, there you go. We are the worst team, essentially. We don't even have the worst offense, but we have the worst team. So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I'm not sure what we can really do to fix it. Things were similar statistically, but we weren't nearly this bad, so I don't know. But in the next video, we will cover the month of June, so I hope to see you all there in that next episode. We'll probably look at the minors, too, see if there's anyone that needs called up or sent down. But yeah, we will move into that in the next video, so hope to see you there.